Imagine a fortress with no gate. Anyone can walk through it whenever they please. Anyone can wander its halls, study its weaknesses, and leave whenever they are finished. That is what a life without discernment looks like. Most people build no walls at all. They hand out access to their fears, their plans, their wounds, to anyone who smiles warmly enough, and then they wonder why betrayal always seems to arrive without warning. It arrived with warning. They simply weren't watching. Marcus Aurelius understood something most of us discover only after we've been hurt. The people we let into our minds shape the life we end up living. Not every hand that reaches toward you is offering support. Some are only measuring the distance to your weak spots. This isn't a lesson in becoming cold or suspicious or closed off from the world. It is a lesson in becoming clear-eyed. There is a wide, quiet space between naivety and bitterness, and that space is where wisdom lives. Seneca warned that friendship built on convenience is not friendship at all. It is proximity wearing a disguise. He urged people to choose their companions the way a craftsman chooses materials, slowly, and by testing what they're made of. So before we go further, ask yourself honestly, how many times did you excuse a red flag because you wanted so badly for someone to be real? How many times did you hand someone a piece of your inner life before they had proven they could hold it? That is not weakness. That is simply what happens when the desire for connection moves faster than judgment. What follows are 7 lessons the Stoics left behind for exactly this problem. Not lessons in mistrust, but in discernment. By the end, you may never measure loyalty the same way again. 1. Access is not owed to anyone. Not everyone who listens to you is invested in you. Not everyone who asks about your week is rooting for your future. Attention is cheap. Loyalty is not. The old Stoic instinct was this: trust is earned through evidence, never granted through charm. Think of your inner world as a fortress, not a marketplace. A fortress doesn't despise the people outside its walls. It simply refuses to let everyone inside uninvited. The gate can open, it just isn't left swinging in the wind. Watch what people do when there is nothing in it for them. Watch how they respond when you say no, when you stop being useful, when your success no longer benefits their story. Some will celebrate you in that moment. Others will reveal, quietly, that they were only ever standing near your light, not beside you in it. You don't need to grow suspicious of everyone. You need to stop granting entry to people who haven't proven they deserve it. 2. Withdraw the benefit and watch who stays. If you want to know what a relationship is built on, stop supplying it for a while. Stop answering instantly. Stop offering before they even ask. Then observe. Picture a tree in high summer. Everyone gathers beneath its shade, praising how generous it is. Winter comes, the leaves fall, and the same crowd disperses without a glance back. The tree never changed. The season simply exposed who loved the tree and who only loved what it gave them. People work the same way. Some will vanish the instant you stop supplying comfort, money, or attention. That isn't a tragedy, it's information. Epictetus taught that our peace should never depend on what we cannot control, and another person's loyalty was never ours to control. You cannot argue someone into having character. You can only notice, quietly, whether they have it. 3. A boundary is a mirror. You will learn more about someone from a single no than from 100 agreements. Compliance makes almost everyone look kind. A boundary is what separates real respect from borrowed affection. The moment you stop being endlessly available, some people grow cold, accusatory, wounded. Not because your limit was unfair, because it removed something they had quietly been relying on. Epictetus drew a hard line between what belongs to us and what does not. Our judgments and choices are ours. Other people's expectations were never meant to be. A house with no doors isn't hospitable. It's simply unprotected. Kindness without any boundary eventually curdles into self-erasure. So hold the line without cruelty. You don't need to announce it, defend it, or apologize for it. Let it stand, quietly, and let people reveal themselves by how they respond to it. 4. Growth will show you who was actually rooting for you. Struggle earns you sympathy easily. Growth is a harder test. When you become steadier, sharper, more at peace than before, watch closely, because congratulations sometimes grow thinner exactly when they should grow louder. Picture two people climbing the same mountain, matched step for step, until one begins to pull ahead. Suddenly the other stops watching the summit and starts watching their friend instead. The mountain was never the problem. Comparison was. Marcus Aurelius never needed to shrink himself so someone nearby could feel taller. Your task is not to outpace anyone else, only the person you were yesterday. A real friend can question your choices without needing to diminish you. Someone threatened by your progress usually needs you smaller in order to feel larger. Notice the difference and don't apologize for the space you're taking up in your own life. 5. Warmth is not the same as loyalty. Some people are extraordinarily good at making you feel valued without ever actually valuing you. They remember details, laugh easily, say exactly the right thing. Warmth like that is simple to perform. Loyalty is not. A bridge holds no meaning on a calm day. Anyone can stand on it. Its strength only becomes visible in the storm, when the water rises and the weight becomes real. People are no different. Seneca separated true friendship, built on virtue, from friendships built purely on advantage. Take away the advantage, and some relationships collapse with it. Notice too how someone speaks about the people who aren't in the room. If they hand you another person's secrets freely, they are showing you exactly how they'll eventually handle yours. Character doesn't appear the day it's tested. It was already there, waiting to be seen. 6. Guard what you reveal. There is a habit that feels like intimacy, but can quietly become self-sabotage, telling everyone everything. Every fear, every insecurity, every private ambition, handed out simply because being understood feels so good in the moment. But understanding a wound and protecting it are two different things. Some people memorize your weak points only so they know precisely where to knock later. Epictetus urged attention toward what is truly ours to control, and what we choose to reveal is one of the few things that always is. No one walks through a crowded market holding their most valuable possession wide open for strangers to examine. Your inner life deserves the same instinct. This isn't about becoming guarded or unreachable. Vulnerability with the right person builds real trust. Vulnerability with the wrong one becomes a weapon later. Let access be earned slowly, the way trust always should be. 7. Stop carrying what was never mutual. Distance reveals what closeness often hides. Stop initiating every conversation. Stop repairing every disagreement alone. Stop being the only one holding the rope, and see what happens. A fire tended every night by one person will die the instant that person stops feeding it. That isn't destruction. It's proof the fire was never sustaining itself. Some relationships run on the same quiet arrangement. Epictetus reminded us that other people's attention, effort, and loyalty were never within our control. Our dignity, though, always remains ours to keep. This is not an invitation to games, to disappearing acts, to testing people out of insecurity, dressed up as strength. It's simply permission to stop forcing what was never naturally mutual and to let people show you, plainly, where they actually stand. After these 7 lessons, one truth remains steady beneath all of them. Not everyone deserves the same access to your life, and that isn't cynicism, it's clarity. You don't need to distrust the world. You need to stop handing out trust as if it were free. Watch actions instead of promises. Watch patterns instead of charm. Notice how people respond to your boundaries, your growth, your silence. Stay kind without becoming naive. Forgive without reopening the same door twice. Walk away when you must without carrying bitterness with you. You cannot control anyone else's character. You can only choose with care, who is allowed close enough to shape your peace. If this way of thinking speaks to you, the next video continues where this one leaves off. Stoic Journal.